This is Yoko, tuning in to the creative process with Jonathan. So, what inspired me to get into music, I think, was much more of the effect music has on people and how it connects with anyone that resonates with that particular sound. And I always thought that was fascinating. So in terms of like people like singing a song or like rapping to a song or like dancing to a song, I always like loved the effect music had on people and the connection that it made. And if you're like even going through a hard time and that song or lyric is like that kind of pinnacle for you that basically like changes your life in a big way. So a lot of people love music, and I feel like I just want to try and connect with as many people as I can. And the fact that I love doing that and that I've found my avenue in doing that through music makes the journey like 100% much better than just like doing something that I know is helping people, but I don't necessarily like find happiness in doing that all day. You know what I mean? So that's where the love of music came from, just my upbringing, seeing the effect of it, and knowing that I want to have that same effect with as many people as possible while I'm here and then while I'm not here in the afterlife. And then the name Yoko is what I dedicate all what I do in terms of music. That's the name that I kind of put the stamp on, to represent like what I'm doing it for, and like kind of like it's just really long story, and that'll be like talked about later on. But I feel like for now I just want people to know that I dedicate this to like my mom, who passed away battling cancer for 10 years, and I felt like she was the biggest role model I could ever ask for, best friend. And the fact that my mom was like the icing on the cake, you could say, So the reason why you'll see the name Yoko everywhere, and even myself calling myself that, is because I want to represent what she believed in terms of everyone just living the life that they want, and not having the consistent thoughts of like someone else, what you would think they think about what you're doing. Rather, you're just like in your own self and you're thinking about what you're doing all the time. And then when you realize how much impact you have, you know that you've like made it somewhere, So yeah, I feel like that's the answer for that.
That's big, man. And the fact that you want to touch so many people with your music, and you know the effect that it gives people, what kind of creative process do you go through creating a song that can do that for somebody?
It's a good question, because I think it happens in many different ways. I feel like a lot of the time it comes naturally, and I either have like a melody in my head, or I like have a complete idea of what a song should sound like. And the skills that I've learned in terms of like production and doing it every night and going through different programs that teach you a little bit more about the details of sound and audio, that really like have helped me shape how I'm presenting it to the masses, or to people. And I feel like it starts with the idea, the kind of like boom, beam, boom, bop, whatever idea you have in your head, and then you use the tools that you have to like kind of bring that idea to life. And then it doesn't happen every time, that's for sure. But the fact that you're doing it consistently means that it's going to happen eventually. you just don't know when, and when it does, you'll realize that what you're doing was worth it. You know? When you reach that point where like, this is what I was like searching for, or this is what I was trying to accomplish, or I finally got what I wanted out. And then from there, it's really about thinking about who would sound best on this kind of sound, who would really like complement and be able to kind of just tell their own story on this sound, because I've already told my story with the sound. So now it's time for me to like pass it along to someone else to tell their story on it and make it resonate as much as possible with as many people, because I don't want my music just to be like, I don't know, something that's just like basic, you know, just like the 1 2. I want it to be a little bit different. I want it to like kind of be the next wave going into the next decade. And like this, all of this is like the start, the beginnings, like still the hustle, like every day, every night, just trying to find time and committing that time to doing it. And then knowing that you're putting that time towards something that you yourself have the vision for and other people may not see. But once, like I said, if you do something for so long, it'll happen because you're just committed to it happening, you know? So yeah, creative process.
So, speaking about commitment and the amount of work that it takes for creators to finally, in a sense, make it, you know, where more people realize who they are, what kind of advice would you give people that maybe are stuck and not believing in themselves, or are stuck in a rut of like what to do next?
I think that's always going to be an ongoing kind of battle with yourself. I think it's going to be something that is never going to actually go away, maybe once you've made it, you know? Because I feel like, to me, at least, what I do is not about making it, it's about doing what I love. And if that so happens to like allow me to make it, then so be it, you know? But if it doesn't happen, then so be it as well. Kind of have to accept the fact that you're not doing what you love to accomplish like the make it or successful kind of thing. You're doing it because you love it, right? And I feel like you get a little lost when you start to think about where you are compared to like the other people you find that are in your eyes like successful or have made it, and you get lost in all of what they're doing, and you're losing the time that you should be using to do what you're doing. Because the reason why you feel like they're so like successful or have made it is because they're like being the best them they can be, or portrayed to be. And I feel like that's the answer that you already know, the answer that you've been searching for. You just got to know that you got to be the best you, so that they in return will be like, will admire that you're being the best you know, and not being the best them, because they're already them, you know. And that's why we like them, or we admire those. I feel like you gotta admire yourself so that people will learn to admire you. So I think it starts with self-love, man. And then that's a battle that I struggle with every day, you know? Not gonna lie. Like, this is not perfect. This, even like through the camera and through interviews, may look like, oh wow, he's like doing this interview and blah blah blah. But people gotta know that like, if you don't try to do anything, how will you know if it'll work or not, you know? Like, so this, like, I don't care if it'll work or not. But I'm doing this because I love to. And if I could support someone that is trying to do what they love, that's what it's all about, you know? And that's what the music is for. Like, do what you, I want it to connect so you can do what you love. Like, and that's like, knowing that like, life is just gonna be, it was here before us, and it's gonna be here after us, and we're here in it now. The now is what matters. The knowing that we don't know what's after, you know? The knowing that like, this is you, and if this is who you were born to be, so why not love you so you can love like others. So yeah. Ah.
Awesome, man. I love that answer. Speaking about self-love, what are some ways that you have been able to do that for yourself?
Well, to be honest, take care of yourself for sure. Like, whether it's, I think it's important to kind of do the little tick mark, like physical, mental, emotional, financial, whatever it may be in your life. Like, worry about the health of you, of your body, because that's what you wake up with every day. That's what you go to sleep with every day. That's what you are living every day. So that's important. Second, spend the time that you want to spend on the things that you want to do. And don't think about what other people are thinking about when you're doing those things. Of course, like, don't do anything to harm yourself or to feel like you're being unproductive, right? But also, like, do what's really, like, deep inside of you, because then that's what's truly, like, what you want to do, so why not do that? And then third, spend it, I think, the time that you're not doing that with people that are doing what they love, because you'll learn a lot from other people, and that's the only way to, like, make it right, is to meet as many people as possible, filter through those people, because not every person you meet is going to be the one, or like the person that you could connect with or click with. But the fact that you're meeting as much people as possible, those chances get higher for you in terms of finally connecting or clicking or finding that one, But if you don't put yourself out there, and I am struggling with this still, like, you don't know the possibilities of what could happen, of who could see you or hear you, or, like, anything having to do with you. The fact that it's out, and it's out because you gave it your best, is all that matters, The numbers, the monetary, don't even worry about that, because everybody that we see as successful tells us not to worry about that. It's that's gonna come later, but you have to accept that, and you have to also, if you have these responsibilities or things you have to take care of, it's life, nothing's perfect, but it's knowing about how to work those imperfections to be as perfect as possible,
I know you kind of touched up on this. It might be connected to your answer for this next question, but what's the biggest lesson you learned this year?
2019, man. The biggest lesson that I've learned this year, that's a good question. Biggest lesson that I've learned? Man, I feel like, I don't know. That's a good question, though. I feel like there's always a way, you know. That would be the lesson that I've learned this year. That no matter what you want to do, make money, live your dream, do what you love, whatever it is, it's possible. And you'll realize it's possible as long as you're committed and dedicated and you put in the work. Because that's what's most important. Showing up, taking the time, and doing it. You know? That's the only way to know. And I'm still learning that. And that is to this day, you know? I feel like that's the cool thing about learning, or each year is like, you learn something new, but at the same time, it's like you've already known that for so long, but the fact that you're actually doing it this time, you're realizing that it's possible. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like this making music up to this point, like now I have like clients, and now I have like artists that I'm working with and collaborating with, and I have like paid sessions that like I engineer. And I'm just like, never thought about this when I started, you know, but that makes me excited for what's gonna happen like in the next like year, you know, the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I just know that whatever I do, gotta do it the best way that I can. Period. Slap.
Alright, man. So, I guess just last thing would be let people know where they can find you.
So, working on that. But definitely Instagram is my favorite platform. Bada bing, bada boom. Instagram at Sound by Yoko. YouTube, the official Yoko. Apple Music, Yoko. Spotify, Yoko. SoundCloud, Audio Mac, Tidal, Pandora, iHeartRadio, whatever you want. Search it up. Boom. And you can check out the music, see if it connects. Because that's what really I want to know. If it connects or not, either way I want to know, you know? Because then that helps me like grow and develop. And when I do this, I approach it differently. And that's what's important with anything you do. Like, be open to like feedback. Be open to criticism. Don't take everything so like hard and serious. You just gotta know how to like take a breath, let the moment pass, and continue. You know? That's what it's about. Life goes on. That's the biggest lesson that has been carried from me since I've dedicated this music for me, is life goes on, life continues on. And while we're here, might as well live it the best way we can. Boom.